Nick Durant here with Tattoo University. Today's show is brought to you by Weird Camera Equipment. If you're having a hard time getting a shot, get some weird camera equipment. Tattoo University is also brought to you by coffee. Having a hard time staying awake? Get some coffee. Coffee. It's great. Gotta get some work done. So, it's really true. Coffee keeps me going because I have a lot of things to do. I have a lot of plans for things. I have trips I gotta plan for this week. I have to get some tattoo machines put together for people. Still working on some hand poker designs. I stay pretty busy, man. Doing the YouTube channel, doing social media, trying to get stuff done. I got this little weird tripod set up to my phone. I'm going to try and get some different angles here. Let me try to fix the lighting a little bit, make sure we can see what we're doing. Really hate it when I get the shadows in the shots or when my phone automatically adjusts. That messed me up one time. Okay, maybe because I'm not a photographer, it just seems like camera equipment gets really weird. And it seems like the weirder the equipment, the better it works. Okay, so I keep getting a shadow every time I put my hand in that way. Try to adjust some lighting here. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm just going to leave that rubber band on there. I might take it off later. Now that I have the silicone on there, I can probably take it off. Let's just take it off now. But if you want, you can leave it on there. Alright, what I'm going to do is, again, flat screws. Here's our flat screws. Alright, remember, we want screws that are inset to the frame or round screws down here for comfort. Comfort on the tattoo artist hands. Now what I'm doing, hold the top of the cores while you do this, that way this doesn't move around. As soon as that spins around, your wire's just going to snap. What I'm doing right now is just getting everything in place. I'm not really tightening it down. Here's my rear post wire that I'm going to put in here, making sure my capacitor is not in the way. We don't want it to interfere with the armature bar, so we want to tuck that away somewhere where it's not going to cause any problems. On a metal machine, you don't need the yoke. And the yoke is what connects these two cores and makes them stronger. This is a metal frame, so that's going to be doing the job of the yoke. If you had a aluminum or plastic frame, you would need to put a yoke in there. So if you had a plastic frame, you would want metal washers. But we have a metal frame, so we want plastic washers in here. One on each side of the frame. And these nice chunky washers stay in there like that. And now, to make sure we have a good connection, we're going to put a metal washer there and attach your wire so that this doesn't push into the plastic or get near the frame. You want this wire to have a connection only to this metal and this contact screw, not to your frame, because this screw goes through here, but it touches the wire. It has the chance it could touch your frame and cause a short. So to prevent that, that's why these washers are round, and you want a nice chunky washer to make sure that this screw passes through here and makes no contact with the frame. We don't want this screw digging into the plastic washer and cracking it. So we go metal washer, plastic washer, metal washer, wire, and then post. Make sure that wire, that plastic, does not interfere with the connection between the wire and your post. Again, everything's going to be hand tight for now, not super tight, until we get everything in place. While you have everything out, you could give it a good cleaning. Make sure everything's nice and fresh when you put it back on. This show is also brought to you by cats. Whenever you're trying to work, they will get in your way. Really, Titus, what are you doing, man? Let me see your butthole. Get out of here. Go on. Go find somewhere to lay down. Now here's something you guys probably haven't thought about. See that little hole right there? See that little hole up there? You want to line up those two holes so that your clip cord will line up correctly. So I'm just going to grab a random washer, and this one looks kind of fat. Put it on here. I'm going to tighten up this rear post. And then I'm going to see if that lines up. Okay, one of the tricks is get a needle. To get a needle and cut off the needle group. Place it in your rear post, turn it until it is tight, and then run this up to see run it up there and see how close you are. And now we throw our armature bar on. Here's the problem you're going to have with your armature bar. This won't, if you don't tighten this down enough, it'll move around. You want to adjust the tattoo machine and you want it to stay put. You don't want it to move. I've gone back and forth between flat washers and round washers, and right now I'm kind of back on the round washers. I think it makes a little bit of a difference, but it's whatever you want to put on there. Right now I'm just doing round washers. I'm going to give those a try again for a while. See what happens. If you want to save some money, just notch a tube or get an alignment tool, but it's the same damn thing. It lines up your rear spring, your armature bar, and it makes sure that it is the correct distance so that your needle will travel down the middle of your tube. And you can use this while you're tightening everything up to make sure everything stays in the correct spot. Now that everything's in place, I'm going to start doing a little visual inspection and kind of see what we have going here. My contact screw is at a bit of an angle. I have a longer spring in the front. Looks like we're working with 18 gauge springs, and I have a pretty good stroke on that. The distance the armature bar travels, that's a lot. So what I'm working with right now could be a color packer. So it's a little bit of a longer frame. I can really stretch this distance out right here so I can get more stroke. I think that this right here is one of the most important things when it comes to lowering your voltage. And that is the gap you have between your rear core and your armature bar when the armature bar is pressed down. Now, I'm already seeing an issue here. When your armature bar goes down, it should hit this front core flat. And see the little light kind of going through there? Look right there. We are not touching this front core all the way. And part of that could be because it's not tightened up. So I'm going to push this back so that touches. I'm going to tighten up the front core. I'm going to tighten up the front coil. This is going to be a problem. Is that both of these cores are touching the armature bar. Now what that does is it keeps your armature bar from releasing. It'll pull and it will actually hold. What that'll do is prevent your cores from letting go of the armature bar. And it'll actually slow your machine down. But let's see if I tighten these up real good, what we can get. You don't need a lot, you just need the smallest amount of gap back here, just so this core is not touching the armature bar. So it'll release easier, so your machine won't work as hard. Just the smallest amount, like a paper's width. If you have too much, it will make your machine work harder. If you have too little, your machine will slow down because it's grabbing this armature bar and not letting go. But you want the front to touch evenly, and you want a little bit of gap in the back, and this is why your angles need to be right so that everything hits flat. If it's turned this way, your armature bar will not hit flat right on top of that core there. It is really cold here in sunny California right now. Really chilly. I picked a bad time to do machine tuning videos in my garage. But we will power through this.